individuals mentioned are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law.
Hello.
Hi again.
Welcome to Moms for Justice. Carolyn and Jocelyn here. How are you guys doing?
We're back.
We're back. We just did another show on these other lunatics, but now I don't feel so bad anymore because I don't have to talk about that icky stuff. I get to do the fun stuff now because we're talking about Donna Adelson.
I know you love her.
I do. I love the whole case, and I'm just so excited. This is a picture of her.
She looks terrible there.
She does. This is like yesterday, I believe it was. I think it was yesterday.
Poor lady.
Poor lady. She's evil. She's an evil monster is what she is.
We don't know yet.
Oh, come
Let's
on.
go to trial.
Really? Really? Oh, stop. Come on. We know. All right. So anyway, Donna Adelson, she's currently being held at Leon County Detention Facility. And in an unexpected move this week, she's in court and she gave testimony through a Zoom call. So we get to hear her talk today. She basically testifies about 2 inmates, that had flapping of the gums, and she thinks it's going to help her. So she appeared via Zoom for a brief hearing at Leon County Courthouse. It's not really long. We will play it. Adelson spoke about 2 women in jail who allegedly had past conversations with Catherine Magbanowa. Now, if you guys remember who she is, she's a key figure in Dan Markel's murder for hire plot. Magbanowa was convicted in 2022 and sentenced to life in prison. She was the middleman between Charlie, Donna's son, and the hitmen that were hired to kill Dan Markel. Okay, so there are explosive...
Hired and killed.
Right.
Hired and actually killed.
Yeah, and little old Donna is stuck in jail now. She's next to be tried. And I personally think her case is the strongest of all of them because there are calls and text messages and all that to prove all that. So according to Adelson, the 2 inmates claim that Magbanowa once said, quote, "Wait until I come back. I'm going to take care of that family. Wait until they see what they're going to get, and I'm going to get a reduced sentence because of it." So this is this bombshell info that she wants to let into her trial to help her. One of Adelson's attorneys is Jackie Fulford, because you remember the other guy.
Right.
Yeah.
The other guy that represented Charlie.
Dan.
I can't think of his name.
He was Dan too, right? Wasn't he a Dan? I don't know. But he was a total nightmare, that guy. He just totally dropped the ball, did not know how to do his job. But anyway, Jackie Fulford, one of her attorneys, attempted to highlight these claims, even suggesting that Magbanowa planned to set up the Adelson family all along in exchange for a lighter sentence. However, Georgia Kappelman, and you'll be able to hear this, stands there like totally, she looks bored out of her mind, but she's objecting left and right. So I've got more to say about this, but I want to just go ahead and we'll play it.
Show the video. All right.
I'm going to show the video. So remember, she's in a Zoom call, okay? And her attorney gets up at the podium, and you won't see her face, but you'll hear her voice, okay? So we're going to start right there. Here we go.
Ms. Adelson, during the course of your incarceration at Leon County Detention Center, have you become aware or familiar with a witness named Cassidy Conroy?
Yes, I have.
And during your time incarcerated in an area that's close to where Ms. Conroy is also incarcerated, have you engaged in discussions with her where she has indicated that during a time she was previously incarcerated, she was also there in close proximity to state witness Catherine Magbanowa?
Yes, she has told me that.
Okay. And during the course of your conversations, have you also learned that Cassidy Conroy has an issue with the use of illegal drugs and an addiction problem?
Yes, she does.
And speaking with her, have you learned that she is going to be released around midnight this Friday, January 31st, or in the early morning hours of February 1st, 2025.
That's what she told me, yes.
And based on the conversations that you have had with her and based on what she has told you, do you have a concern that, in fact, she will be unavailable to testify in your trial in June based on her prior addiction and her comments that she intends to continue her use of drugs when she is released?
Yes.
And during your conversations with Ms. Conroy, has she indicated that while she was incarcerated with Catherine McBanawa, that Ms. Banawa provided information to her to the effect that she intended to set up the Adelson family in hopes that she would get a reduced sentence after she was convicted?
Objection, leading.
Sustained. This needs to be drawn out as direct questions.
Thank you, Judge. What statements has Ms. Conroy made to you regarding what Ms. Banawa has said about her hopes of obtaining a reduced sentence?
She said, wait till I come back. I'm gonna take care of that family. Wait till they see what they're gonna get, and I'm gonna get a reduced sentence.
And is it your desire that Ms. Conroy be available to testify at trial regarding the statements that Ms. McBanawa had previously made?
Oh, absolutely.
And likewise, have you become familiar while you're incarcerated at the Leon County Detention Center with Ms. Brittany Purcell?
Yes, I have.
During your discussions with Ms. Purcell, did she indicate whether or not she had prior addiction issues?
Yes, she has.
Based on your conversations with Ms. Purcell, do you know whether she has indicated she continues or intends to continue her use of illegal drugs upon her release?
I take an art class at the jail, and she has said it in the art class as well, that's her intention.
And do you know when it is that Ms. Purcell is supposed to be released from the Leon County Detention Center?
You know, I thought she said early February. I don't know her exact date. I didn't want to question her.
Okay. And based on your discussions with her, did Ms. Purcell indicate whether she was familiar with Catherine McBanawa from prior incarceration time?
Ms. Adelson, please respond.
I can't hear. Was a question asked? I didn't hear anything.
Sure.
Question again.
Thank you, Judge. During your discussions with Ms. Purcell, has she indicated whether she is familiar with Catherine McBanawa during her prior incarceration at the Leon County Detention Center?
Yes, she did.
Based on your conversations with Ms. Purcell, did she indicate what statements, if any, Ms. McBanawa made to her or in her presence about the Adelson family?
Yes, she's made several statements.
And what were those statements?
Said had her plan worked, she would not be where she is. She would be sitting pretty in Hawaii, drinking a fancy drink. That was one of her statements.
What other statements did she make about setting up either Charlie or yourself or the Adelson family?
The Kay, they call her, I called her Katie, but they all refer to her as Kay. I guess that's the name she used when she was here. But they said, Brittany said to her that Kay made it very clear that she was blackmailing Charlie, my son.
Okay. All right. Anything further that was said?
Yes, and I guess I should have been prepared. I didn't know I was going to be asked. I'm just a little nervous right now. But she spoke about the tattoo. She spoke about the tattoo that Kay had, and about a tattoo that her child's father had of her with a machine gun that he put on his body of Katie with a machine gun.
Would it be your desire that at your trial in June that Ms. Purcell be called as a witness if Ms. McBanawa testifies in the case?
Yes, I would like her to be there, absolutely.
You have a concern based on her drug addiction and her intention to continue drug use after she's released that she would be unavailable to testify at your trial?
Yes, that's my concern. It's a big concern.
Yeah, we just moment.
Go ahead.
I don't
Wow.
have any further questions at this time, Judge. Thank you.
Councilman was doing the examination.
Yes, Your Honor. Mrs. Adelson, when did these women make these statements to you in the jail?
Well, at different times over the last, gosh.
Anybody can say this.
Cassidy was back in October. Brittany was after that. Brittany, I think, was around Thanksgiving. I didn't write down a specific date, but so for the last 2 months or so, 2.5 months.
No further questions.
Any redirect examination?
No, Judge, thank you.
That will conclude the testimony. Is there any other evidence that the defense wishes to present in support of this motion? There you go. Response from the state.
Judge, the state objects to the defense's motion. We do not think they've laid sufficient grounds for a motion to perpetuate. As Your Honor pointed out, almost all civilian witnesses in criminal cases engage in high-risk behavior and may be unavailable in that sense. I don't think this is any different. We have no evidence to suggest that these women are either high at the time or unable to be located at the time that they're asked to testify. So I would object on that basis. Secondly, I think timing-wise, I have an objection. I don't think it's fair to the state to bring these witnesses on us. I learned about them Sunday when the defense motion was filed. I don't think that they've been officially discovered yet, but I learned about them when I got this motion Sunday night and were to depose these witnesses presumably and somehow be prepared to cross-examine them in the next 2 business days. I don't think that's sufficient time for me to prepare an adequate cross-examination, nor to depose them as I have a right to do prior to conducting that cross-examination, or sufficiently investigate them or their stories that I'm just learning today, because as Your Honor pointed out, testimony and substance was not even present in the motion itself, so we're all just learning about it today. So for all those reasons, I would object to moving forward as suggested by the defense.
Any further argument, Mr. Zellman? Just on your.
By the way, I just want to say thank you to Mentor Lawyer for supplying us this footage. I do appreciate it. That's really awesome. Okay, so we'll listen to the rest, right? Just not much left, so we'll just listen to see what the decision is. It's kind of hard to hear some of the things that she was saying. I did get some. Obviously, they're both drug users. Conway and Purcell are the last names of the 2 women. One is in jail and one has already been left out. And they were discussing the concern about the one that was released already on the streets doing drugs, and what kind of a legitimate witness could she be anyway?
Right.
Okay.
And then one of the other things she was saying is that how much she's not going to have enough time to cross, to I guess to look into the evidence, but the trial doesn't start for a while. So I don't understand what she's talking. Like, why did she think she's pressed on time?
I don't know. Maybe she's saying I'd be pressed on time if you don't produce these witnesses to me. Do you know what I mean? If you don't get these witnesses to me, the one's a drug user, if you don't produce them now, it's not fair. I should have just enough time to be able to prepare. So not just willy-nilly spring them on me last minute.
Right.
Okay.
Well, she said, yeah.
Okay. All right, let's see what he says.
Okay, Your Honor, in respect to the rule, contrary to the state's position, the standard is may. It's not will be unavailable. I think Your Honor's concerns expressed at the beginning of the hearing would be spot on if the standard were will be unavailable. However, the rule includes language that says may be unavailable. Now,
Yes, to that very point, though, Mr. Zellman, could we not say nearly every trial, someone who's scheduled to testify may be unavailable, therefore now we have this deposition instead of testimony taken under oath during the trial itself?
yes, Your Honor,
That asteroid could hit Earth. There could be a car crash. There's no extent that could end the may be unavailable.
Right.
But just because we perpetuate their testimony, there's still a second part of the analysis as to whether or not the perpetuated testimony can be presented in trial, and that's in subparagraph 6. We still have to make an attempt to procure their testimony at trial. This is in the event that we're unable to do that.
That's
Your
true.
Honor, the temporary investigator took us some time to find somebody who did not have a conflict. We actually had to go to somebody out of town that I've used in the past. She actually works for the Federal Defender's Office in Georgia now. And we didn't get her summary of the interviews that she conducted on Friday until Saturday. So over the weekend, we obtained that information, prepared the motion for perpetuation of testimony on Sunday, and I emailed out to the state Sunday afternoon.
Very well. Having reviewed both the rule, referring to Rule 3.190 subsection I, that concerns motion to take the deposition to perpetuate testimony, having heard the testimony of Mrs. Adelson today as to the material nature of this testimony, and also the argument of the parties, I am prepared to rule. As it concerns the language, may be unable to attend or be prevented from attending a trial or hearing. Mr. Zellman, as it pertains to your argument that it is not will be, but may be, that is well taken. That is the plain language of the rule. I would still say, and I'm interpreting this rule, it has to be something that goes beyond what is merely speculative. These witnesses, while they may have used drugs in the past or may use drugs in the future, that does not render them, based on my reading of this, that they are unable to attend or prevented from attending a hearing, or maybe merely because they may use drugs again. If this were a situation where we were dealing with something such as a military deployment, or someone who is dealing with a grave illness, or something that is more concrete than just this person may use drugs again in the future, I think we'd be on a little more firmer footing. This is, as I find it, speculative that because they've used drugs before, or may use drugs again, they cannot testify in their trial. These witnesses should be subpoenaed by the defense to secure their testimony at a future trial date. If the situation changes,
I got it.
We are no longer dealing with something that is completely speculative. I will readdress the motion, but I am going to deny it.
Okay, so they're trying to get the two inmates to testify now because they're concerned that future drug use would prevent them from being there at the trial.
Right.
So they're trying to get, I'm assuming, a deposition or have them just the way Donna just testified through a Zoom call, have them come in early or maybe even video it. I'm not sure. Let me just see if he says anything else before I go on.
Point out that the statements that both of these witnesses have made indicated their intent to continue to use drugs upon their release.
As made to Mrs. Adelson, however, that does not mean that they are going to be unable to attend or prevented from actually showing up for the trial week during June 3rd.
Yes, sir.
May I just say one thing?
No.
Miss Adelson, if you could give Miss Fulford or I a call, we can discuss further.
Brittany is homeless. You'll have no way to reach her. She's a homeless person.
Ms. Adelson, stop talking. As to the motion for change of venue, are the parties capable of arguing this today as well?
No, Your Honor.
Very well. We are in recess.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. So I did mark that down. The defense attorney said, our concern is that they will not be available because they will go back to using drugs and will either potentially not be able to be located or may not be competent to testify depending on the condition they are in at that time. And he said, and what the judge is saying is that there are plenty of witnesses out there in the world that we don't stop the world for them just because they go on drugs. You just bring them on in here if they're on drugs and they can testify. Do you know what I'm saying? And if that's
right.
That's their problem, your problem.
Right.
So he wasn't convinced. Obviously, he's denying the motion and stating that speculation over the potential drug use is not enough to force depositions from them.
From
separately.
them now.
Right.
From them now, really.
Right.
Because you can still get the depositions later.
Yeah. And if you heard him, he
Yeah.
did suggest that you go ahead and subpoena them now because later on you might not locate them. She mentioned that she was worried. Donna mentioned that she was worried that the witnesses, or one of the witnesses at least,
Was
would
homeless.
be homeless.
Yeah.
Right. And then
He
how
said-
would we locate them? So you subpoena them now. You know where they are now.
Right, so-
Subpoena them now.
He's like, stop talking.
You guys stop talking.
Stop it. I thought that was hilarious.
Stop it.
I guess they do say that.
Right. Where's Judge Judy when we need her?
Stop it.
All right. So throughout her testimony, Donna doubled down on the idea that McBanowa had been blackmailing her son, Charlie, the whole time. I noted that. And that's also a claim Charlie made himself during his trial anyway.
Oh,
So
I thought was the best defense he could have came up with, but and he's
somebody
still sticking
didn't
to
agree, right? So yeah, and if you guys don't know who Charlie is, he's the brother of he's a brother-in-law
Wendy.
of Dan Markel, brother
Oh,
of
yeah.
Wendy. He was a Florida periodontist convicted in 2023. He helped orchestrate this whole murder of Dan Markel, which is a disgrace. And he's now serving life in prison, and he's actually trying to swindle his way through an appeal that I don't think is going very well for him right now. He claimed that he never went to the police because McBanowa, along with the killers, which were Sigfredo Garcia and Louis Rivera, was blackmailing him
who
for
are
money.
who are also incarcerated right now.
Yeah, they're all incarcerated.
Right.
Adelson testified that one of the inmates told her that Garcia allegedly had a tattoo of McBanowa holding a machine gun. That's new.
Yeah,
That's really new. Okay.
that's interesting.
Yeah. And then the judge says to the defense, forget about the media. At one point in the hearing, Everett scolds the defense for failing to include details in their official motion, saying that much of the information revealed in court was not in the original filing. And then Zellman admitted that the defense intentionally omitted certain details from the motion because they feared it would be replayed in the media and on podcasts. But Everett cut him off, stating, forget about the media. I'm going to the sufficiency of the pleading itself. So what's next? So despite her testimony, the court rules against the defense motion, leaving the June trial still on course for June 2025. He did, however, leave the door open to reconsidering the motion if new concrete evidence emerges. I don't know if you caught that. So for now, she'll remain behind bars. And that is it. That is the latest update. What do you think?
Yeah, but what evidence could actually arise? So, as in the sense of having them come in now and give their testimony.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Right.
which is bogus.
Like what-
It's like, first of all, they're not.
I think
most
it's
of the
just something
time-
they say. Yeah.
Yeah, she is grasping at straws here. She is in a desperate situation, and now she's relying on the worst you can ever rely on, and that's two people that you talk to in jail that are drug users and have like a rap sheet this long, and they're not credible. And that in its even if you can get them to come forward, I don't think they're going to help you, right?
Right. Well, I mean, listen, Charlie did get convicted. And his story was that he was blackmailed, and
Which is
and of
bogus.
course she's playing innocent. And if I was in jail under a possible life sentence, and I heard two of these people say that, I'd want it to be put into my trial as well.
Right.
So I mean, it's totally understandable why they're trying to grasp whatever they can to get into this trial to help her, with her defense. Who wouldn't want to do that? Who wouldn't want to try that? So she's trying, and listen, if they can find these so-called witnesses back in June when they need to testify, then how about it?
I think Donna is withering away in there. I think she is.
She's super stressed. She's super stressed.
Can you imagine being an old woman and being stuck in jail and trying to figure your way out of this mess when everything is against her? I mean, do you
Yeah.
remember all the text messages, all the letters, the emails that she wrote? Do you remember
Yeah,
the
but-
phone calls with Charlie and the things she said that were damning, and then showing up at the airport on your way to Vietnam? I mean, it looks really bad for her. And
Well, she was coming home from She was coming home from somewhere.
She was coming home from Italy and getting back on a plane to
Right.
go one-way ticket to Vietnam with Harvey.
Right.
You know, and I don't know where Harvey is. Do we know where Harvey is? I mean, you never hear about Harvey, and Wendy is like, mum's the word. Like,
As she
nobody
should.
hears from. Well, that is smart of her. I will say that. She's being really smart. But I mean, when you're backed into a
Yes.
corner the way she is and you got nothing left and you're next on their list, on their hit list, I mean, Georgia, I think, is going to come after her. I really do. And I think she's doing it methodically in order. I mean, there are a lot of people that are very upset that she's not just going ahead and having Wendy arrested now. Because there is enough at least to put her on trial. Whether a jury will buy it or not, there are circumstantial evidence that's pretty compelling. It's not concrete, but it's pretty compelling to have a case. And I think she's just waiting for Wendy to testify one more time in Donna's trial. And also Robert Adelson is going to be testifying. And there's a
Right.
whole slew of other people that we've never seen before. Wendy's friend is supposed
right,
to testify.
If Georgia really wants to go after Wendy, she really should get everybody else first and then Wendy
Yeah.
last.
'Cause
Like,
she's
I think that would be,
Right.
that's the most, I think it's, very strategic on her end. I think it's very smart. I personally don't think, with the evidence that's out there, I don't think she's guilty at all. If there's more that to come arise in Donna's case that makes more sense, which is why she might be waiting on, charging Wendy, then that would be smart. Then I would, until I hear more, and there may be more coming out, I might change my mind.
I think there will be. And, you're right, because she has the weakest case of everybody. There's just, you just need that one or two more things to like really, make a home run with it. But I mean, it's a risky to, because of double jeopardy. You can't try it again if she's acquitted.
Right. Right.
So, yeah.
No, I agree. Yeah.
Let us know what you guys
So-
think. Yeah.
June. Okay.
Yeah, that's it for
That's
tonight
like-
for our
that's
update.
like- Yeah. That's like what, 18 weeks away, more or less.
Yeah.
My daughter-in-law is due June 3rd.
Yay!
So that's why I know it's only like roughly, I think, 18 weeks. I hope she's
That's
not
great.
watching because I should
Grandma.
know how many weeks she
See, you're
is.
going to be a
I
grandma
know.
just like Donna.
Yes. I'm going to be called
Don't be
grandmama.
plotting to, do away with your in-law, your daughter-in-law. Your daughter-in-law.
I love my daughter-in-law.
That's
She's
great.
adorable. Yeah, they're both so cute.
Okay, so we've got a comment here. Wendy is not a suspect in the case. I've already proven her innocence on my page. Okay.
Yes.
Well-
Thank you, Glenn.
Yeah, I don't agree with you, Glenn. Sorry, I don't. You're an awesome
Honestly,
dude, but no. I don't agree, and I think it will come out. And I will personally apologize to everybody listening that is a pro-Wendy supporter, and Jocelyn, and you too. I will do that, but I have a feeling that I will prevail in the end, and that she is, she at least knew about it and helped try to cover for everybody. At least that's what
If
she did.
anything, I could see her knowing about it, but I don't think she tried to cover anything.
Right. Yeah.
And I think that if she found out, it was after the fact. I don't think she knew before. If I wouldn't give you anything. Otherwise, yeah, I think she was totally innocent in it.
And I think if she was involved, I will say this. If she was involved, I don't think Catherine knew about it, because I think Charlie and Donna made sure that if she did know about it, they kept her protected, and only they were the ones that knew Wendy knew about it. So that's why Catherine has not flipped or come forward. Otherwise, she would have said something at Charlie's trial when she testified. She
Right.
would have said something
Right.
then. So they're not going to get anything out of Catherine on that one.
Another one that was offered a good plea deal and didn't take it.
Right? Imagine that, knowing you could have walked
Yeah.
out of there tomorrow, and if you had just testified and she said no. It's insane. She has kids and everything.
Yeah.
It's just such a waste. I know it's on your page. I'm not listening. I'm not. Don't be mad, but
I'll listen.
I
What page is it? On my IG page?
comment with a link so she can go on it. Like after we
Yeah.
get off, go ahead and go to the link. But you Wendy supporters, man. I don't like Wendy Adelson. She's bad news. I think she knew all about it.
I don't know.
But no. I will. I promise you. I will even do like my own broadcast where it's like, look, it's going to look like this. I'll be right here all by myself. And I'm going to go. This is a statement from Moms for Justice. My name is Carolyn. And I'm so sorry that I blamed Wendy Adelson. But right now, I'm not saying that because I really do think she is guilty. So, anyway.
I don't know when you're going to say that.
Huh?
I don't know when you're going to say that.
After Georgia's done
Donna?
rolling. What? No, after Donna.
Oh.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Like, I think, after we see, because honestly, after she testifies at Donna's and we hear all the other witnesses and everything, as long as they're not going after Harvey, there's really no other way to go. And if they can't indict Wendy, I can't for the rest of my life say that the girl is guilty of this. If they can't prove it, I have to go with the justice system. They can't prove it, but I think it's still out there and it's going to be coming. And until then, I will not let up, Yeah. So that is our show for tonight. And I'm so glad you guys could join us, and make sure you hit that sub button. Slam down on the sub button.
Glenn, wait, before you hang up. I don't have Glenn's website.
Okay, well, just wait till afterwards. He'll post the link, okay?
Oh, he will?
Yeah, I just told him to. Post the link on our page somewhere in the comments of this video, okay? And then she can go on there and then she can go to it. All right. Happy Friday, y'all. I'm so glad you could join us, and I hope you can join us on Tuesday. Oh, Tuesday, we might be able to broadcast. I will be away. I'm traveling to another state, and I'm going to bring my computer with me, and I will try to broadcast on Tuesday. But if we don't go live Tuesday, we will have either pre-recorded video up for you, or we will just be back on Friday. Sound good?
Yeah. Sounds
okay.
Good.
Heart shape?
All right. Have a good weekend. It hasn't been working.
This is like our new thing. I know it's not working, but you know what? I love it because we love our viewers. We love you guys. All right.
It's not working.
Take care. Have a great weekend.
The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are solely those of the hosts and guests. All individuals mentioned are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law.